Hey, it's the Nerdy Sports Fan. We're still giving out draft grades with all of the mini camps around the corner or just starting. Let's get into this AFC North. So, we're into Cincinnati now. And, oh, Bengals. I'm really sorry for Bengals fans. Truly. The ownership there just does things differently. And sometimes that works in their favor. Most times it doesn't. In this draft, they're really a stay-put kind of team, okay? And they don't really move around the board at all. They let it come to them. Well, what they needed didn't come to them, all right? The Steelers leapfrogged them to pick number 10 to pick up Devin Bush, which really would have been exactly what the Bengals needed. So they were stuck. The Bengals draft for need. They do exactly what you're told not to do in the draft. They look at their top need and just pick the best player available at that need position. I don't think the value for Jonah Williams meshed up with where they were picking. I don't. Especially with Jawan Taylor on the board still. I get it. Taylor dropped into the second round. A lot of people passed on that dude. I'm not giving anybody a pass for that. Okay? If you look at Alabama versus Clemson, the game last year, towards the end of the season, look at what Clelin Ferrell did to Jonah Williams. I mean, he just made him look like a chump. And I understand Ferrell was also a first-round draft pick. And he was drafted 4th overall. Nobody thinks he was worth that position. Okay? Clelin Ferrell was a guy that should have been drafted in the 20s. And when you have a guy who's definitely not the best pass rusher in the league ragdolling you around all game and making you look like a chump, you're not a number 11 draft pick at tackle. I'm sorry. I think Jonah Williams has the potential to be a good right tackle. Right tackle. I don't think that he was good value here. I think there are better tackles. And I think he's got the biggest bust potential. I really do. I don't see the development ability there. I mean, he looks good workout-wise. He looks good against bad competition. But when you put him against good competition, and again, specifically against Ferrell, he looked terrible. And it's not going to get easier when you get into the big boy league, all right? You're going to be going up against players the caliber of Ferrell every single week. So, yeah, this doesn't bode well, okay? Drew Sample with the second-round pick. Let's talk about that for a second. Yeah, I had a 4th-round grade on this dude, if that. Okay, I was being generous with that 4th-round grade. Sample is a blocking tight end almost exclusively. He's got size. He can catch the ball. Not as frequently as you'd like him to. If you cannot run routes well, you cannot create separation, you're not a threat in the open field, you need to catch the ball every single damn time it is thrown your direction. And this guy has concentration drops, okay? So you drafted him almost exclusively for his blocking ability, and a blocking tight end is not something you need with your 2nd-round draft pick. Yeah, very, very overdrafted here. They went with Jermaine Pratt in the 3rd round, and it just bugs me that they address their worst position on their team this late. They needed to move up in the 1st to make sure that they could keep people at bay and pick up Bush. And they didn't. So they finally get a linebacker in Pratt. And Pratt is solid, okay? He's graded well at this position. I don't mind the pick at round 3. He's going to be a rangy guy on this team. He'll be an immediate starter because their linebacking core was terrible last year. And so yeah, he's good. They just needed better earlier. Ryan Finley, Rennell Wren, and Michael Jordan and Travion Williams were all actually good value picks. They really were. But the top of this draft was so bad for value, I'm giving them a D, even though they had good value picks later on. So, I mean, I'm sorry, Cincy fans. I really am. You don't deserve what your team does to you every year.